729-foot ship breaks in half and sinks in under 6 minutes. 29 men gone, no distress call, no survivors, no explanation. That was November 10th, back in '75. For 5 decades, investigators argued over what killed the Edmund Fitzgerald. Bad hatches, rogue waves, crew error. The families demanded answers. The maritime world needed to know if their ships were safe. Then, just recently, an underwater drone captured something at the bottom of Lake Superior that changed everything. What it found doesn't just solve the mystery. It reveals a design flaw so deadly that the crew never stood a chance. This is what really happened the night the lake swallowed the Queen whole. The story begins in the late 50s, during the height of American industrial dominance. When the Edmund Fitzgerald launches, she's unlike anything the Great Lakes have ever seen. At over 700 feet long and capable of hauling 26,000 tons of iron ore, she's the biggest freshwater freighter ever built. For 17 years, she dominates the shipping lanes. She breaks cargo records season after season. Tourists line the shores just to watch her pass. Working aboard the Fitzgerald isn't just a job, it's a badge of honor. They call her the Queen of the Lakes. In 17 years, she's never had a serious accident. Captain Ernest McSorley commands her final voyage. 44 years of experience on these waters. Quiet, methodical, respected. If anyone can handle the November storms, it's McSorley. His crew are veterans too. Many have spent entire careers on the Fitzgerald. But Lake Superior has a darker reputation. Veteran sailors call the violent November storms by a specific name, the Witch of November. These storms generate hurricane-force winds and waves 3 stories high. Unlike ocean waves, lake waves are steeper, closer together, more violent. The Fitzgerald has weathered hundreds of these storms. She's built to handle it. Or so everyone believes. Early. November the 9th. The Edmund Fitzgerald is loading 26,000 tons of taconite pellets in Superior, Wisconsin, heading to Detroit. The weather forecast is grim, a major storm is moving in, but it's November. Storms are part of the job. McSorley coordinates with another freighter, the Arthur M. Anderson, to travel together across Lake Superior. 2 ships are safer than one. Standard protocol, the Fitzgerald departs late afternoon. Just another routine haul, just another storm to push through. Nobody realizes this is a death sentence. November 10th, the storm hits with savage intensity. 80-mile-per-hour winds, 35-foot waves, visibility near zero. Around 3:30 inches the afternoon, McSorley radios the Anderson with an update. The Fitzgerald has taken damage, lost vent covers, torn railing, the ship's listing, radar's knocked out. But the pumps are handling the water. His voice is calm, professional, under control. The Anderson confirms they'll keep radar watch on the Fitzgerald's position. Hours pass. The storm intensifies as darkness falls. At 7:10 inches the evening, the Anderson makes routine contact. Fitzgerald, how are you making out? Captain McSorley's voice comes through one final time. We are holding our own. 5 minutes later, the Fitzgerald's blip vanishes from radar. The Anderson tries to make contact. Nothing. No mayday. No distress call. She's just gone. They search desperately through the storm. They find empty lifeboats, damaged and useless. Debris, but no survivors. By dawn, the impossible is confirmed. The Edmund Fitzgerald and all 29 crew members are lost. A ship weighing 13,000 tons empty, carrying 26,000 tons of cargo, erased from existence in less than 6 minutes. What the hell happened out there? The wreck is located days later in 530 feet of water. The Discovery sends shockwaves through the investigation team. The ship is in 2 massive pieces. The bow sits upright. The stern is inverted 170 feet away. Something ripped this steel giant completely apart. The Coast Guard launches an intensive investigation. Their conclusion: catastrophic flooding through ineffective hatch closures. Massive waves collapsed the cargo hatch covers. Water poured into the holds. The weight pulled the bow down until the stress snapped the ship in 2. But there's an ugly implication. If the hatches failed, it suggests the crew didn't secure them properly. The families erupt in anger. These were veteran sailors. The idea that they'd leave hatches unsecured in a major storm is insulting. Alternative theories flood in. Maybe she struck underwater rocks. Maybe rogue waves, the legendary Three Sisters, overwhelmed her in seconds. Maybe metal fatigue from years of stress. Nobody has proof. The debate rages for decades. The Edmund Fitzgerald becomes a legend, immortalized in song, but the truth remains hidden. Until now. Fast forward to the 2020s. A research team deploys a remotely operated underwater drone equipped with 4K cameras, AI scanning, and powerful lights. Mission document the wreck in unprecedented detail. The drone descends 530 feet through frigid darkness. At the bottom, something massive emerges. The Edmund Fitzgerald. The footage is stunningly clear. The ship's name still visible on the hull. Twisted metal, silt covering everything. But the ship doesn't look like it exploded. It looks like it was bent and broken by an unimaginable force. The drone focuses on the cargo hatches, the center of the 50-year controversy. Each of the 21 hatches should be secured by dozens of heavy-duty steel clamps. First hatch, missing clamps, bare steel. Second hatch, more missing clamps, some bent at impossible angles. Third, fourth, fifth. The pattern is undeniable. The hatches were systematically compromised. The Coast Guard was right about flooding. But then the drone finds something else, the smoking gun. A 4-inch circular hole in the deck near the forward section. It's the base of an air vent pipe designed to let air escape from cargo holds during loading. But the pipe is completely sheared off. What remains is a gaping hole leading directly into the ship's interior. Engineers on the surface run calculations immediately. In a storm with 35-foot waves, this hole, combined with compromised hatches, would funnel thousands of gallons per minute into the cargo hold. This confirms McSorley's transmission. He mentioned losing vent covers, but from the pilot house, he couldn't see water pouring into the ship below deck. Here's the critical detail. The 26,000 tons of taconite pellets act like a sponge. The ore absorbed the initial flooding, masking the deadly weight accumulating in the bow. McSorley thought they were handling the storm. The pumps were running. Everything seemed manageable from his perspective. In reality, the bow was getting heavier every second, sinking deeper into the waves. The Edmund Fitzgerald was drowning from the inside, and nobody knew. The new evidence reveals the final moments with terrifying clarity. The waterlogged bow acts like a massive scoop, forcing the nose down into an oncoming wave. Simultaneously, a following wave lifts the stern high into the air. The ship is suspended between two opposing forces. Bow diving, stern rising. The stress is catastrophic. The hull fractures. A crack like thunder as metal tears apart. Water rushes into both sections. The bow plunges first, hitting bottom 530 feet below, landing upright. The stern flips as it sinks, landing inverted 170 feet away. Total time, less than 6 minutes. Most of the crew are in the stern quarters. The violence is instant and overwhelming. No time for lifeboats. No time for anything. The lake takes all 29 men. The drone footage vindicated the crew. They didn't fail. The ship's design failed them. Years of stress, inadequate vent construction, and vulnerable hatch systems created a fatal flaw that only revealed itself under the worst conditions. The mystery is finally solved after 5 decades. But some theories persist. Did the Three Sisters, 3 massive rogue waves in sequence, deliver the final blow? Could the storm's frequency have caused structural resonance? Fringe theorists mention Lake Superior's magnetic anomalies. The official conclusion stands. Catastrophic flooding through a sheared vent and damaged hatches caused progressive bow-down sinking and structural failure. The Edmund Fitzgerald remains at the bottom, 530 feet down. The families requested the site be left undisturbed as a maritime grave. The lake never gave up a single body. We are holding our own. Those words haunt everyone who studies this disaster. Captain McSorley spoke them with complete sincerity 5 minutes before his ship broke in half. He was operating on incomplete data. The Fitzgerald wasn't sunk by incompetence, it was sunk by a hidden design flaw. The disaster changed fresh water, shipping forever, new regulations for hatch designs, better vent construction, enhanced weather monitoring, stricter loading requirements. The 29 men didn't die in vain. Their tragedy made the Great Lakes safer. Every November 10th, the bell from the Edmund Fitzgerald is rung 29 times, once for each crew member. Their names are read aloud. Gordon Lightfoot's haunting song plays. The Edmund Fitzgerald is more than a shipwreck. It's a reminder that nature doesn't care about human confidence or engineering prowess. And somewhere in the darkness, 530 feet below Superior's surface, the Queen of the Lakes rests in 2 broken pieces, keeping silent watch over the 29 souls she carried to the bottom. What do you think? Was it purely flooding and structural failure, or did rogue waves and other factors play a role? The evidence points one way, but questions remain. Drop your theory in the comments. If you want more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries, smash that subscribe button. We've got stories that'll keep you up at night. See you in the next one.